Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. So today I'm trying to make not a crosscut sled, what is it? A jointer sled. So I have a goal of trying to make some cutting boards, but I don't have a jointer. And I went to the store and I just bought some pieces of maple and cherry and some walnut here. So I do have a planer. I got a planer, I got a chop saw, and I got a portable construction table saw. So I need a jointer sled so I can straighten out these rough cut boards and get everything nice and square. So my plan of attack is to use my track saw with the skill saw and cut down this board a little bit. So I have some 3/4 inch press board here, or MDF, I believe it's called. And then off Amazon, I got this T-track as well as some hold down clamps. Okay, I think I'll try and put a link in the description to these things. I mean, it looks pretty good. I haven't used it yet, but so the plan is to cut this piece off here. So cut it off there to there. And then I'm gonna cut another 6-inch wide strip from there and then place it on top here. And then the idea, I can lay my piece of wood onto here. So yeah, we're gonna see how that works. You'll see more. I'm learning as I go here, as with everything on this channel. Kind of doing a lot of things for the first time. So I am by no means a professional woodworker, but I'm trying. So for anybody out there who has some advice, experience, things to watch, things to learn, please share with me. I would love to learn. That's the whole point of this channel, is to learn how to do things, and you guys can join with me on the learning adventure. So anyways, I'm just gonna set up the saw here and then cut some pieces. So this is the Kreg AccuCut. So it comes with these 2 sections of straight cut piece, and I guess it's an adapter for a regular skill saw. So it comes with this attachment, attaches to the plate on your skill saw, and then there's some grooves that fit on here. So it's not a true track saw, but it adapts to it and it works pretty well. I mean, I'm only trying to get it in the rough position right now because I'll cut it off more later on the table saw. But it does have these grippy pads underneath, and sometimes you gotta clean it off so it doesn't wiggle around too much on the workpiece. It does have some clips to hook underneath, and you can clip it to the board, but I found that they're a bit of a pain to put on, and I don't know, I find this works just as well. So what I'm doing is just lining up with my marks here. There we go. Like I said, I don't need this to be super accurate. I'm just trying to trim this piece down so I can manage it through the table saw. Well, I thought I set my depth correctly, but you can see in there I'm just a bit shy. So let's try that again. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks like I was taking off a little bit of this cutting piece here. So every time you put on or take off this, let me just unplug this. Every time you put this thing on or take it off, because sometimes if I'm just cutting lumber or something, I don't need it. But now that it's back on, see, maybe I put it on just a little bit crooked, so I end up taking off a little bit of this cutting. And so it's just a reference, like exactly where you're going to be, the blade's going to go, and gives you a nice, good cut. So the fact that I took some off there, that's a little bit of a shame. Anyways, that's the way it goes. All right, so I got the saw set up here. So I'm going to rip a strip 4 inches wide. I'm going to use that factory edge to reference on the fence here. Really gonna have to make a table saw outfeed table or something. Should probably be one of my projects soon, but for now, let's use this. Okay, I'm rethinking this now as we go here, designing as we go. But why can't we do 2 sides? We know that this was the factory edge, and I used that to reference this side. So this should be square now. And these are the kind of boards that I want to straighten up. See, they're not the straightest. So I'm wondering, could I do a small side? Because if I want to do thicker boards for the cutting boards, I could do them on this side. And all I would do is take this and turn it to either side. Because I don't think I'm as concerned if this is straight, because I'll just line up the board with the cut edge, because I know the saw blade will go right along here. Am I thinking about this wrong? Okay, I need to think. Okay, so I think I figured it out. I'm probably way off here, but I'm gonna make it 2-sided. So the rough cut edge, like, I don't really care where this one is. It doesn't really matter, but because all I'm gonna do is try and line up the outside edge with where I want to cut on the rough cut line. And I know these 2 edges are parallel because I referenced this one in the table saw. So this one will go against the fence. If I want to cut a piece here, flip the jig around, put it on this side, and then I can cut the larger board. So I can put cutting boards and stuff on this side if I want to cut them. So yeah, I'm just gonna, what I'll do is I'll fasten this board down with some glue and screws to this one. Put my T-track down. Then we'll try it out. All right, so I'm just gonna booze up. I put a couple marks here, 4 inches in. Put this board. So I'm going to pre-drill some holes, and I have these countersink bits I got off Amazon. So I'll leave a description there. So yeah, you can adjust the depth of the drill bit before you start flaring it out there for the screw head. This is packed full of wood, but there you go. You Allen key in there, and you can adjust the depth on them. So these things work great. There we go. Let the glue set up on that, and then we'll attach the T-track on top. All right, we're back. Now, I've just removed the clamps. This is all glued up now. So what I need to do this T-track on. I'll just clamp this into place, so when I mark the holes, it won't move on me. And then we'll just mark the center of the holes. And then we'll take it off, and then we'll drill all these holes. So I will be using this countersink drill bit again now. I just got to make sure I guess I don't really need the countersink because it's just going to sit in these. So maybe I'll just drill till the countersink kicks in. All right, we got our T-track mounted now. So bolts, okay, they slide in, all good. So these are the hold down clamps. So now if I want to hold wood on that side, like that, I'll switch it around and hold stuff on this side. So I only have 2 of these hold down clamps. I might need more. We'll see how. 2 holds pretty tight. I think you just throw a washer on there. And these screw on top. So, for example, I got this scrap piece of wood we're gonna try this thing out on. So let's clamp her down here. Already with one, like that's pretty secure. That's gonna work really well. So here's the setup, and the factory edge can now ride along the fence, and I can just set the blade to just take off just enough of the wood there to straighten that out, and then I'll flip this around and run it through the table saw itself, and it should be square. So I'll raise up this blade and we'll give it a try here. So one thing I learned making that cut, I was trying to apply pressure to the sled to keep it against the fence here, but I was pushing down and my table saw started to tip over, and that caused me to turn it a little bit, so I ended up turning it or twisting it a little bit, and that's what caused the blade to bind a little bit there and got some burn marks. So well, that's why I'm practicing on scrap, so I know I just need to keep it a fence, but not so much downward pressure on it. But other than that, it seemed like it worked. The other thing I need to set up is an outfeed table for sure. I don't want this jig always just dropping on the ground. So I'll set something up for that, but let's loosen this off. So, I don't know if, looks pretty straight. So, idea being now is we flip it and then take off this edge here so it'll be parallel to that edge, and we'll see. So we should have two parallel edges in theory. So I guess to test this out, let's cut some strips and see how well they fit together, I guess. Okay, so I cut a few different thicknesses there. Kind of what I imagine I'm going to do with the cutting boards. So now if I randomly, change grain direction, they should fit together pretty well. I did notice, when you cut a piece off, I think there's like internal stresses or something inside the board itself, because it can kick a little bit. So someone could tell me what I'm supposed to do about that. That'd be awesome. I don't know, but it seems like this should glue up pretty well. So you gotta put it. Well, there you have it. That's my attempt at a jointer sled. If you guys like these types of projects and want to follow along with me and learn with me, please join and subscribe. I'd appreciate any advice or tips and tricks as I learn all this stuff. As I said, I'm pretty new to a lot of it, so looking forward to this adventure, and we got many more little projects around here to take care of. Have a good night, YouTube.